Hey there. So if you're here, it's probably because you need a quick review of exponents. Now you might be wondering how I know this, and I know this of course because you just took a quiz and you got a question wrong, and that told me that you did not know what that was about. So I'm here to quickly fix this. I'm going to explain to you this thing, and then you're going to do the quiz again and see if you can do it. If you still can't do it, then you will just watch the video again and we will just keep going until you finally can do exponents. So the good news is, after we're done with this, you will know how to use exponents. The bad news is it might take a while. Now, the basic idea of exponents are they're just a shortcut. So imagine that I want to multiply 2 times 2, right? So well, that's relatively easy to write, right? So, why should I get a shortcut for this? But what if I want to say, what if I want to multiply 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2? Now you see how this gets old relatively fast, right? So nobody wants to write, I don't know how many are there here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 2's. It's just too much trouble. So instead of writing this thing, we just say, hey, well, there's 8 2's here, so this is just 2 to the 8. There you go. So this is just a shortcut. This is just a short way of saying this is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Now careful, this is multiplication sign. This is not a plus sign. This is not 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, because that's just 2 times 8. And we already had a sign for this. This was the multiplication sign. This is repeated multiplication. You just multiply 2 times itself 8 times. And that's what 2 to the 8 means. So far, this doesn't seem very complicated, and believe me, it's not going to get very complicated. So for example, let's see that I want to know, how much it is 2 to the 8 times 2 to the 5. Now if I look at this, immediately I have absolutely no idea. But what I can do is remember that 2 to the 8 is just 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 and so on. So I can just write it out. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 and so on. And I think I got 8 now, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, I got 7. And there you go, another 1. And then now I need to remember that this is just 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So 5 times. So again, times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 and times 2. And now I just look at this and I'm like, well, how many 2's do I have here? Well, obviously I have 13, right? I have 8 from the first one and 5 from the second one. So I have 13 2's. But that is just 2 to the 13. So I'm just like, oh, look, 2 to the 13. And if I look at this, I'm like, oh, look at this exponent and look at this exponent. If I add them up, I get this thing here. So it looks like I can just add exponents when 2 of these things are multiplying, but only if they're multiplying. Simply because, well, here I got 8, then I still multiply by this one that has 5, and if I look at all the 2's that I have in total, then of course I got 13. And that's pretty much it. Now, one little thing that people tend to get wrong is they see this and they think they can still do it. So they get 2 to the 3 plus 2 to the 2, for example, and they're like, oh, look, exponents. I can just add them up. And they say this is equal to 2 to the 5. But it is not, because this is 2 times 2 times 2, not times but plus 2 times 2, which is equal to 8 times 4, which is 12, and is not equal to 2 to the 5, which is incidentally 32, if I'm not mistaken. So be very careful. You can do the adding up when you have exponents like this. You cannot do it like that. Now, one last little thing that we need to know is that we can, of course, have exponents of 10, and that's the easiest thing in the world. Because exponents of 10, so for example, 1000, right, is just 10 times 10 times 10 equals 10 to the 3. So basically all I need to do is count the zeros and it gives me the exponent. But not quite. Because what if I have 12,000? Now you'd be like, well, you could do two things, right? You can say, well, this could be 12 times 100, which is equal to 12 times 2 to the 2, 10 to the 2. Or you could just say this is 1.2 times 1,000. This is a point, which is equal to 1.2 times 10 to the 3. And they would both be correct, even though in physics you'll say later on that we use one of them. So the basic idea is that in powers of 10, you just count the zeros, and then whatever is not with the 0, that's the power of 10 that you use. Okay, so hope this is enough. Now go back to the quiz, redo it, and hopefully you will not be sent back here. If you were sent back here, it means you still didn't get it and you need to do it again. Okay, good luck.